I think every real horror fan has had at least one experience of feeling out of place when compared with quote-unquote mainstream society, but I don't think there's ever been a really good attempt to understand why it is that people like horror. Like, most horror fans are generally normal people who have pretty good reasons for enjoying horror, but what are those reasons? The real reasons, not the ones they learn to tell people to make society leave them alone. That's what our podcast is about, interviewing people in the horror biz to find out what it is about horror that they enjoy. My name's Steve, I'm a bit of a psychology buff, and my co-host is my friend Chris, who's a bit of a horror buff. And so far, we've interviewed about 40 people in the biz and had a lot of fun with it. And we wanted to share with you some highlights. In this set of excerpts, we're going to share just some of the fun stuff, but if you want to hear the real meat of the conversations, come check us out on Apple, Google, or Spotify, or you can just use the player on our website. In this set of excerpts, we're going to be talking to Tim Ritter, Chris Polidoro, and Joe Davison. And if you want to know more about who those people are, we also have bio pages on our website for them too.
Right.
Crucifying somebody in a public park is kind of eye-catching.
Yeah, now you know what happened with that too. The girl was in a very small bikini, high school cheerleader. And let me tell you, the traffic, because it was on this turnaround road, it was like one way. The traffic backed up a full mile. All these people were just staring, and then I had the cops come. And the cops were like, "What are you doing here?" And I'm like, "Oh, well, I'm making a movie." And they were
making
like,
a movie.
"No, you realize
it?
you have the traffic backed up 5 miles out here." And I was like, "Oh, take that cross down, put it back in the truck, and get out of here."
Look, officer, I can't be blamed for a bunch of perverts that want to stop their car and look at a young girl in a bikini covered in blood. I mean, I just
wait
I'm just
movie,
making art here.
Yeah, right.
I mean, sometimes when I would have this experience, the real LSD and other substances involved, but you know, it's that also happens sober, so that rules that out.
Right.
And childhood, hopefully, before you were getting into that kind of thing.
Well, yeah,
right.
I mean, geez, you want to wait
10.
until at least 12 for your first ayahuasca experience. I mean, Jesus, what savages. Kidding. I've said lots of stupid, incriminating shit on this show. For the record,
wow, you're under arrest. You have 5 seconds to comply.
No, don't shoot me into a night.
All right.
Don't shoot me in the.
When did you start writing?
I think my mom encouraged it. So I mean, I remember writing as soon as I could write when I was and think of ideas that of my own, and that would probably be in first, second, third grade. I was trying to create little stories, and I still have some of those little books. I would actually staple them together and put my name on the front, but by Tim Ritter. It's like I was a terrible artist, but I draw ridiculous covers for them and everything. So.
I say keep those in a frame somewhere. You might be famous someday.
Yeah. Put those on eBay.
Yeah, I mean, a struggle by definition is just more entertaining than a lack of a struggle. It's like watching a football game where it ends 49-2.
Well, it's funny that because while you're saying that, I'm thinking to myself, is there a movie that doesn't have a struggle? And the first thing that came to mind was Napoleon Dynamite. And then I laughed to myself because for me, the struggle was continuing to watch that movie. Like, I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
That could happen too.
Well, and it makes me wonder if, for that example, was that the goal of the people making the movie, to instead of it being
to make the most bland.
No. What I mean is instead of having the struggle be in the movie, having the struggle be in the viewer.
How meta.
Could be. Although I mean, maybe there is a struggle in Napoleon Dynamite. I don't know. I've never watched more than the first 15 minutes of it. So maybe there is one in there and I just don't know it.
Yeah. I haven't seen
wedding,
it.
and a llama named Tina. I don't know. I hate that.
So the one movie that none of the three of us know anything about. We'll probably get some nasty emails from somebody saying, I love that movie. Well, thank you for your time. Thank you for being our guest.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us.
It's been fun, been very interesting, kind of like a demented Dr. Phil episode.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah.
Sort of.
That's,
Can
we use that? That's a good tagline, Steve.
We're going to dissect your mind now. Definitely kind of unexpected because, usually you do radio shows or interviews and it's kind of the same questions, and some are good, but it's just, you don't really have to think that much. You're kind of on autopilot. So definitely wish more people would put as much thought as you all do into it, trying to figure stuff out. And like you said, you're going to have an interesting, you might be able to write some kind of really interesting book.
At the end of it, yeah.
This dog came out of nowhere, it was like a junkyard dog, right? And came screaming at me. And my brother had to beat him off with a stick, and it horrified me. And then I saw Cujo. And I was like, holy Jesus, that's exactly what I ran into the other day. And I was like, okay, there's a 4-back to this shit, Right? Something's going on.
It's funny because
I literally picked a flower and this dog ran at me after he told me that it was bad luck to pick the flower. And I was like,
you're right.
Moral of the story, never pick orchids.
Orchid, is it a form of an orchid?
It is. I looked it up.
Yes.
Okay, well, it looks like a nutsack. So
it kind of does look like a nutsack. A little bit, yeah. A little green or purple nutsack.
It does. I was like, oh, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. My brother's like, don't pick it, it's bad luck. And then I got attacked by a dog.
Yep.
So do you have an existing fear of flowers now or dogs?
No, I embrace them. That's how you do it, man. Yep. If you're scared of something, run at it and embrace it.
Right. So let's go back to the werewolves for a second, because like we're talking fantasy versus reality. Obviously, there's different things there that can be scary for different reasons. Sure. I think it's pretty much obvious what was scary about the human part of it, but what about the werewolves? What did you got going on over there?
I was attracted to that mythology, lycanthropy and all stuff like that, because I was like, wow, you could change this something, you'd like give it hell for one night and come back and whatever. I think it was an element of freedom,
Okay.
Not the murder stuff, but do what you want, just run or whatever, do whatever you want for an evening, So at first I was scared because I was scared to get destroyed by a werewolf.
Right.
And I was like, man, once they bite you, man, you're on their team.
Yeah, it's that whole if you can't beat them, join them thing again, huh?
Exactly. You see the narrative that's going on from my childhood. It's like, if you're scared about something, join it.
Do you remember either one of your parents or one of your siblings teaching you that, or do you think it's just something you picked up on your own?
I picked it up on my own, yeah.
Okay.
Well, my brother used to terrify me all the time because he was an older brother, so he would just mess with me. So
right.
I was like, you scare me in the dark, I'll be the beast in the dark.
So did you scare him?
Yeah.
Nice.
But, and not in a harmful way or anything like that. No. It was just like, I'll make you jump before you make me jump kind of deal.
Right. Get your back.
Again, film is a visual media. So medium, rather. Jesus. Sorry. So you have to see it. And then what it did was invoke a lot of emotions. And the entire 80s was rife with, I could kill you with a pair of scissors or a pencil or a ear of corn or some stuff. Right. It got ridiculous.
Wait, there was a horror movie where someone killed someone with an ear of corn, wasn't it? Did they stab him
that's the Stephen King.
Was it Sleepwalkers?
Movie about
with the cat people?
Yeah.
With the ear of corn.
Right in the ear.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, it was. I know. Right? Stupid, right? If I ever meet Stephen King, I'm like, dude, you let this pass and edit it?
Right?
How'd you not clip this out, dude? Seriously. Like
Sleepwalkers it's a guilty pleasure for me. It's
what do we have? Really clam bake? Man, what's going on here? Fucking ear of corn in the ear. It's like, what? It's funny. It's funny, but
you probably had to make some decisions. I'll let you you can leave that in, but you got to take this out.
Right. God, if that was left in, what else wasn't?
Exactly.
Yeah. Right. What was that?
It is Hollywood.
What was the name of that movie? It was, I can't remember. Anyways, that's terrible. I'm a horrible person, but either way, In my teens, it was a lot of vampires.
Okay.
People wanted to be vampires. So my main gig was making people pasty and giving them fangs.
Mm.
It was fun for the first time, but after the 36th time, it's kind of like,
Gets a little old after a while.
like, come on, man. Don't you guys want to be Luke Skywalker again? Come on. Put on that
Stump
mask.
of a hand.
Yeah. Don't you want to run around naked as a devil? What's up? How about we go outside the box and make you look like a cracked porcelain doll, or make you look, like something that crawled out of the ocean that's covered in seaweed. And every part of you looks like you stink. Well,
what are you trying to say?
Hey, man, come on. The fog, bro. The fog.
Yeah.
Come on, Robo Team, man. Robo Team.
I think middle child theory is a myth.
I believe so as well.
I don't know. I wasn't a middle child. I'm just throwing it out there because it was something that I've heard in the past.
Point of contention, right on. There you go.
I threw it to the wall. It didn't stick. Okay.
No, dude, it totally did. Throw that in. Keep that in, dude. Come on, man. That's some.
I'll keep it in.
That's some funny shit right there. Keep that in too.
No, I think we got some good answers. Prom night was the first one you remember. What did you love about Carrie?
Well, this might go in deeper into psyche now that I think about it, but I thought it was hot at the end when they poured the blood all over her and stuff, and she started just executing bitches in the gym. I thought that was like, all right, this is hot.
Do not disagree.
So I think that, Carrie was, I don't know if I was more scared with Carrie than I was fascinated at telekinetic power or some shit like that. Because, I was reading, let's see, Carrie came out 87. I'm guessing. I don't know. I have a computer in front of me. I could look it up and sound like I'm smart as shit. I could be like, yeah, Carrie in 1986, directed by blah, blah, blah. Which I can't even remember who directed it right now. But I was reading comic books too, man. And all that was like prevalent stuff in comic books.
Yeah.
And it just kind of, I was like, wow, you can have telekinetic powers and be crazy?
It's not just for comic book heroes.
Right, it's for everyone to destroy people with.
Yes.
Yeah, because we all know if we had superpowers,
there'd be some crazy motherfuckers out there.
Dude, me for sure. I never showed her this. I never told her this. She got a hold of a Chucky video on YouTube one day, and out of nowhere, she came up to me and my wife, and she was like, I like Chucky. And I was like, and me immediately, I went to Chucky the doll, and my wife was like, "Is he in your class?" And I was like, "No, I think she means the serial killer,
Chucky,
possessed psycho toy doll."
Of course, you would jump to that.
And yeah, of course. And she goes, and then she's like, "Yeah, watch." And she brought over, and it was a scene in. Where he's, I don't know, with Tiffany and they're killing something or whatever. And I was like, Alexa, you're 5 years old. You cannot watch this. And she's like, I'm not afraid of it. It's not real. And I looked at her and I was like, you are my daughter. And, and I looked at my wife and I said, man, I don't care. And she's like, I don't care. We're like, all right. Yeah. So, my daughter is very much this horror girl now. She watches The Twilight Zone. I caught her in my wife's bed watching an old Alfred Hitchcock episode. She's 5. She's 5 and she's watching Alfred Hitchcock.
Well, at least she's enjoying the old stuff.
Yeah. I was like, who are you? Do you have a message from me from the past, from another director? Yeah, like, who are you?
Who are you really?
Yeah, you're not my daughter. You're some star child. It wasn't macabre or scary. It was like goofy. But what was great about 80s decorations was those bright oranges and those, those old style Frankenstein masks. And that's really what was like nostalgic for me. Was thinking back on it now was like, man, I wish I had thought better then. Because that shit was really
hold on to some of it.
Yeah, well, she still has all of it. She has all that shit in her house in Alaska. She's got all of it.
Oh.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah, now that I think about that. Hey, Mom. I'm going to have to call Mommy today. Right after this.
Did you have a favorite costume when you were a kid?
Sorry. No, I did not.
Listen, if you don't have to mute yourself for it, I'm gonna stop muting myself now.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I
least
just
favorite costume.
No, I don't have one, man. I didn't. We did kind of like pretty elaborate costuming. We'd come up with an idea, spaceman, and then my mom would make it like I was literally working for NASA. So somehow I got Evil Dead 2 and Dead Alive the same night. I watched those movies I kept up those for like 3 weeks because I watched them every day.
Mm-hmm.
Every day. I just had the privilege actually to show my wife Dead Alive. Okay. Yeah. So that's a big step in our marriage, just so you know.
Did it go better than the thing with your son?
Yeah, well, about the same. About the same.
That's nice, dear.
Well, yeah, what I love is she's like, oh wow, that's a lot of intestines. I'm like, yeah, isn't it awesome? And she's like, yeah,
like very frankly, like
yeah,
like, oh, that's a lot of intestines.
And then she'll get up, and I'll go in the bedroom. I'll be like, what are you reading? She's like, okay, this mom, she was drunk, took all her kids in the car, and drove into a lake. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, this is what fascinates you? I was like, I just showed you an hour and a half awesome movie, and you weren't even stunned. She's like, this is real. And I was like, you love some crazy shit.
And I'm wondering if there's like some sort of adrenaline rush tie-in there. Maybe not. I'm just kind of like throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Yeah, no, that's my everyday life, man. That's my now that you're saying it.
What, throwing shit at the wall or the adrenaline?
Totally. My house is covered
rush?
in shit. It smells like in here.
Need to get better weed.
Trust me.
No, it's the good stuff that smells like ass, bro.
Yeah.
So yeah, come check us out over at horrormakeshappy.com or check out some of our other excerpts until you find someone whose interview you do want to hear.